Welcome back into the Playmakers. I'm joined here again with Nick, and we're going to talk some men's golf, Nick.
Excited about it.
Let's get to it. Let's get to it. This weekend, the men were in action against Wake Forest, Liberty, Florida State, and South Florida. And those were some of the notable teams who in the results.
And Wake Forest, we know the highest ranked team in this tournament at 14, Florida State at 18, and KU did finish in front of one ranked team, which is a positive. South Florida ranked 22nd. Kansas finishes at 4 over par total as a team. Heading over to the individual results for the team, the low player on the team for KU was sophomore Charlie Healer. He shot +2 on the front nine and recovered nicely on the back nine, shooting 3 under to finish at -2.
And then Chase Hanna was even on the tournament. He had 15 birdies over the 3 rounds, so a lot of positive results coming from that. But the rest of the golfers, Nick, weren't as positive. Dan Hudson was 6 over on the tournament, and he had slow starts every day of the tournament.
And the 2 new 4 and 5s, Andy Spencer and Jack Sparrow, kind of a disappointing appointment for them, shooting 17 over par combined, and that's how many shots KU lost by out of first place. So without them, they could have improved a lot more. And so let's get into that discussion, Kev. Who we think would be the 4 and 5, and I don't think that Scarrow and Spencer are the answer.
I don't either. We talked last week about Hull and Kirby. That'll be Drake Hull and Zach Kirby. Hull started the end of the fall tournament last year. He did individual, so he has a lot more experience. 2 top 40 finishes in those tournaments.
And Coach Brumwell, he usually does not go with untested players in their first tournament, and he went for a little bit of a stretch there. And I think that he'll learn from that decision, and moving forward, I think they can figure it all out.
That he did. And Zach Kirby last year started individual in the final tournament. That was the Hawkeye Invitational. And he was actually first team All-American at Dodge City Community College before he transferred over here. So those are my picks for the final 2 of the starting 5 golfers.
And I would agree with you because of that experience. They played last year. They know what Coach Brumwell likes in tournaments as far as play goes. So I think those will be the 2 going for the rest of the season.
Well, yeah, they, like we've said, they have all the experience. They know what it takes to win a golf tournament, because you can't just go 100% on every hole. You kind of have to pace yourself on the golf course.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. And talking about cleaning up this top 5, we're heading into, the Jayhawks, are heading into Big 12 play. How do you see them advancing? How do you see them falling in Big 12 play, guys?
Well, I think it's going to start with trying to figure out who that 4 and 5 is. That's the biggest struggle right now, as we saw the differential right there. If they didn't have an untested 4 and 5 and more veterans, they could have been close to that top 3. And we know they can win, because last year they had 5 tournament titles as a team and 2 individual titles. So we know they can figure it out. And I didn't know, but Ben Welly and Connor Peck were big losses for the Jayhawks last year, and that's how they fell out of the rankings.
Yeah, I definitely agree. If they can solidify the 4 and 5, they'll be able to be at least top 4, top 3 in the Big 12. They have the experience in their 3 from the 5 tournament wins last year, so they know how to win. Coach Bermel is coming off the best season in program history in a while, so they know what it takes to win. They just have to solidify that.
And they can't end up relying on Chase Hanna and Charlie Healer, who are the 2 best players, as we saw with the 2 lowest scores this weekend. So they can't be relying on their older guys to carry the team.
Exactly. But do you think this team, you said they are 2 big losses, do you think this team has the strength to have 5 players that are going to carry them in the Big 12? Do they have that weight?
Well, they're not going to be able to replace the 2 losses, because they were definitely, if not the 2 best players, they were 2 of the top 3.
Yeah, and you look at Welly and Peck. Mm-hmm. Peck almost qualified for the U.S. Open last year, and Welly's right now trying to qualify for Q School, which is qualifying for the PGA Tour. So you see how good of golfers they are losing on the team. So the young teams have to figure out what it is that they're going to have to do to take this next step to be good this season.
But I think they can find it. They have what it takes talent-wise.
Exactly. I'm going to have to cut you guys off. You love to talk about golf. That's all we have tonight for Mondays, the Playmakers. We will have sports and more next Thursday. Thanks for watching, guys.